Goeienavond, good evening, fellow South Africans and citizens of the world. And you know what? It's quite extraordinary how quickly the South African politicians, and especially one Cyril Ramaphosa, forget the promises that they made just a few weeks ago in the lead up to the South African elections. It's all about me too now, isn't it? And especially with the ministry. You won't believe the benefits they're going to get under the new government. Absolutely extraordinary when you think of all the unemployed and the increasing unemployment in South Africa. People who are starving, and yet you've got these absolute ignoramuses getting millions of rands in salary and benefits. Let me spell it out for you, so you get an idea of how deep they have their noses in the trough. It is quite incredible. Luxury travel, free housing and domestic staff, along with salaries in the 2 million rand a year bracket, are all in store for the politicians who woke up as freshly minted members of President Cyril Ramaphosa's cabinet on Thursday. Africa Check has crunched the numbers and found that cabinet ministers will receive an annual salary of 2.4 million rand, just slightly over that. Deputy ministers will receive an annual salary of just under 2 million rand. Now, you know, I hate Julius Malema. He's a snake, but he raises a very interesting point. There's only a 400,000 rand, that's $40,000 Australian dollars, about 30 US dollars difference between a deputy minister's annual salary and a minister's annual salary. So basically, it's the same girl. It's just they've just put another tag on it. So they've increased the number of deputy ministries, and they've decreased the ministries to make it look like they're saving taxpayers' money. But they're not. They're not. All the mates are still there with their noses deep in the trough. Yep, deep in the trough. Totally incompetent, most of them totally corrupt, including the deputy president, David Mabuza. What I'll be doing after this intro, I will be attaching basically an image where you can actually go through the whole ministry. And these are the guys who've got their heads so deep in the trough, I'm surprised it's still attached to their bodies. Okay, let's get back to this. So, as I said, deputy ministers earn just about 400,000 rand a year less than the ministers. So basically, there's very little difference. Ramaphosa earns 2.875 million a year, while Deputy President David Mabuza's salary is 2.825 million a year. Very little difference between those two either. Let's have a look at the perks. The Ministerial Handbook is a guide to the benefits and privileges that members of Cabinet are entitled to, but government views it as a classified, confidential document, says Africa Check. I wonder why. The Ministerial Handbook regulates everything from spending on Christmas cards to picking of flowers at state residences. One needs permission from the chief horticulturalist to do so. But here's a look at the most often used and abused privileges. Private cars. Members of Cabinet get 25% of their salary towards a private vehicle, its running and maintenance, as well as comprehensive insurance, at an allowance of just more than 600,000 rand a minister. They will be able to buy a Mercedes-Benz C-Class sedan or an Audi A4 2.0 TDI Stronach. Official vehicles. Ministers and deputy ministers are allowed to purchase one car for official use in Pretoria, as well as one in Cape Town. The value of each vehicle cannot be more than 70% of their salary. Jesus. At the current salary determination, a minister could therefore buy 2 cars to the value of 1.68 million rand each. Nose is a little bit deeper in the trough now, guys. But it gets better. This is only a start. It gets better. Official vehicles can be replaced as soon as they have reached 120,000 kilometres or have been in use for 5 years. Cabinet members are allowed to use official vehicles for any reasonable purpose, including taking their children to school. How sweet. See, here comes Madam Minister with her kids in the car, greeting all the lower lifes, the other people outside. What a joke. Accommodation. Cabinet members can live free of charge in one state-owned residence in the capital of their choice. If they want to move into a second state-owned house for official purposes, they must pay a market-related rent. The formula provided in the handbook to calculate this is salary times by 1% divided by 12. So, for a minister getting just over 2.4 million rand per annum, times by 1% and divided by 12, it works out at about 2,000 rand per month. For this amount, an ordinary South African can rent a nice spacious room in Boksburg or a flat in Gugulethu. But no, the ministers are right on the gravy train. Right on the gravy train. The state pays for a domestic worker to clean cabinet members' official and private houses and also picks up the bill for renovations. Wow. Oh, TV's too small. I'm going to get one that covers the wall. Yeah, taxpayer's going to pick it up. Right on the money. Noses deep in the trough. Travel. Cabinet members and their spouses may book first-class tickets for official international journeys. They're also both entitled to 30 single business-class flights per year within South Africa. Dependent children get 6 economy-class flights per year. If the cabinet member is not flying to a destination, the handbook allows for them to travel by train, including South Africa's luxury blue train. Rates for the Pretoria-Cape Town route range from 18,405 rand to 43,035 rand one way. But they don't have to pay. This is so wrong. This is just so wrong. When travelling on official business, members, their spouses and dependent children can choose any hotel to stay in. Any hotel, all paid for by the taxpayer. Isn't that nice? Other expenses. According to the ministerial handbook, a cabinet member's department can pay for all reasonable out-of-pocket expenses, including gratuities and reading material, but excluding alcoholic beverages not consumed with a meal. So the taxpayer will still pick up the bill for brandy or wine or champagne or whatever, as long as they're eating a meal at the time. God, this is a good job if you can get it. Okay, so let me just repeat that one. According to the ministerial handbook, a cabinet member department can pay for all reasonable out-of-pocket expenses, including gratuities and reading material, but excluding alcoholic beverages not consumed with a meal, and connected with the subsistence of the members, their spouses, as well as family members who need to accompany them while travelling. Slips only need to be supplied if at all possible. So you don't even have to keep the receipt. Oh, yeah, that meal cost us R1 million. Yeah. Just put it on the docket, Taxpayers paying. Who cares? Because of all the variables and unknowns, Africa Check says it is impossible to predict what the cabinet will cost South Africa beyond the members' salaries and their private car allowances. In the fine print, as if cabinet members do not have enough scope in complying with the handbook, it is unclear which regulations they are supposed to follow at the moment. As far as Africa Check could establish, it currently sits awkwardly between the 2007 version of the Ministerial Handbook, cost-cutting measures announced in 2013, and an looming amendment of the handbook. A spokesman for the Treasury, Jabulani Sikakani, was reported to have said that it is too early to tell how departments have responded to the cost containment measures. You've got to be joking. Cost containment? My God, talk about speaking with a forked tongue. It has been reported that an interministerial committee has completed a review of the handbook and it is expected to be presented to Cabinet. However, it is unclear when this will happen. Well, they prefer the old handbook, don't they? Judith February, a senior researcher at the Institute of Security Studies, Government Crime and Justice Division, argues that the amendment process should have involved the public. It should be the subject of public scrutiny and discussion because, after all, our public representatives spend public money when they spend money on accommodation and cars and other benefits of office, she said. The handbook is extraordinarily lenient in some respects, allowing expenditure which could be excessive ordinarily. Ministers have therefore used the handbook as an excuse for expenditure which cannot be justified given the levels of inequality we live in. These sentiments are echoed by Murray Hunter, spokesperson for the Right to Know campaign. There is no excuse for secrecy in these matters, not only because it involves the use of public funds for private comfort, but because it shines a light on the distance between the lives of those who are elected to lead and the ordinary citizens they serve. Yeah, that kind of sums it up. Everybody else can live in poverty, and these guys are just cleaning up big time. Watch the VAT go up a couple of percentage to help pay the costs of your ministers. Absolutely crazy. All right, guys, here comes the image of all these guys who are heads deep in the trough, all 28 of them. Have a great evening, and please remember to subscribe to be kept informed and ring the bell. Bye for now.